Hey there, everybody. How's it going today? Ian back here with you with Stumbo's Media Outlet. Hey, so on this channel, I like to review a lot of different things. I do a lot of some unboxings, some movies, but what I don't do a whole lot of is music. I'm a big music fan. I play music, um, and I'm a big rock music fan. So if you're a rock music fan, I've done a few rock video releases. I'm going to try and do a lot more in the new year, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to let you guys know what my top 10 albums of 2021 are. My top 10 rock albums. Can be any kind of rock, classic rock, hard rock, heavy metal, three of my favorite genres. So if you're like a big rock fan, go ahead and watch this video. Let me know down in that comment section your favorite rock releases. Let me know ones I don't mention. Recommend some to me. I love new music recommendations. I love discovering new bands and all this, and just hearing what new music I can find. So, a couple I have the actual discs for. Most of them I don't. A couple I can't find. So, okay, the first one I'm going to do is the number 10 is the album from Lindsey Buckingham that came out. Lindsey Buckingham, one of my favorite guitar players from Fleetwood Mac. On the Wrong Side is a standout track. The opening track, Scream, is pretty short, but it gets the point across. It's a much more, I think, kind of return to form in terms of like what Lindsey sounded like in maybe his early solo days with the Law and Order album. I think that there's definitely some standout tracks. It's not an album that I've been coming back to a lot. So I think that's why it's lower on this list. But overall, I really I'm a huge Lindsey Buckingham fan. I've seen him live with Fleetwood Mac, I think 4 times, and solo once on the 2006 Under the Skin tour. And he did not do a date near me on this last tour, but I really hope to see him live again. I know Lindsey Buckingham has had some health issues lately, but I'm glad he seems to be doing well enough to make an album and tour. So definitely check out the new Lindsey Buckingham album. It's got some great songs on there. On the Wrong Side, Scream, are two that stick out, but there's some other great ones on the album. I'm not a big fan of the last track. I think it's called Time. It's a cover. It's kind of slow and meanders a little bit for me. So, number 9 is a great rock band with a great vocalist, the Pretty Reckless, Taylor Momsen, Death by Rock and Roll. That song alone kind of put this album on this list for me. It's not as high as some others, just because there's a few too many slower songs on here. I love like 25 on this album. There's some just killer riffs. Taylor's vocals are top notch, as always. I think this is their 3rd or 4th album. I really like the Pretty Reckless a lot. Just one of the great real rock bands out there. And Taylor, she's got a killer voice. I love the way she expresses herself with her music and the lyrics and what she's trying to say. So, absolutely love the Pretty Reckless new album, Death by Rock and Roll. Definitely check that one out. Got to go a little faster so I don't take too much time. Accept, classic German metal band Accept. Gosh, I love Accept. Too Mean to Die. Their new release kicks off with a great track called Zombie Apocalypse. Mark Tornillo has been their singer since 2000's Blood of the Nations. Gosh, I love that album. Blood of the Nations. This is his, I believe, 5th album with the band. He did one called Stalingrad. Let's see if I can remember these. Blind Rage and The Rise of Chaos, I think. So this would be album number 5, Too Mean to Die. There's some other great songs on the album. Actually, the whole album is pretty great. Sorry, I'm trying to think of individual tracks. Some are coming to me. But absolutely check out Accept, Too Mean to Die. I love classic Accept when Udo was the singer. Fast as a Shark. The song Restless and Wild. I mean, Wolf Hoffman's still in the band as a guitar player, so you still have what makes Accept, which are those killer riffs. So definitely check out the new Accept album. I thought it was great. Number 7, gosh, someone who keeps putting out a great album after album, whether he is with his own band or another band called Alter Bridge, and that is Mark Tremonti, guitar player and singer Mark Tremonti, who many of you would know from Creed, who I would also know from Creed, because I grew up in the 90s. I was never a huge Creed fan, but I love Tremonti, the band, and I love also Alter Bridge. I can't wait to see what they do next. Mark Tremonti is the singer and guitar player in his own band, Tremonti, where in Alter Bridge he just plays guitar. He sings occasionally too, but Miles Kennedy is the singer in that band. Marching in Time, what a great album. Gosh, the title track, there's like 2 or 3 singles already from this album, and man, he just keeps pumping out these great melodic, like hard rock songs. He's got a great band with him. The title track is long too. It's like 7 minutes, but it's really cool. It has kind of slower sections and then gets into this more up tempo midsection, and then kind of he's such a great player. He's got great solos too. So huge Mark Tremonti fan. I think this is his 5th album too with Tremonti. I may be wrong, but I have all of them. I started buying them when I think I got the first 2 from the library, and then I started buying them with Dust. And I was a big fan of Dust. And then everything he's done, I mean, Cauterize, sorry, my cat is playing with different things. Cauterize is great. The last one he did, A Dying Machine, a concept album, love that album. So yeah, Marching in Time, awesome. Number 6 on this list. First time I heard it, I said, wow, this is some of the most melodic rock that I've heard in a long time. And who else would give me such great melodic hard rock as Wolfgang Van Halen, the son of the late, great, legendary Eddie Van Halen, who I miss, and we all miss, tremendously. I got to see Van Halen in 2015, got to be right in front of Eddie. Still think of that show. Killer show, one of the loudest bands I've ever seen. And man, did they bring it that night. Wolfie, his son, was playing bass that night. Man, do I love the opening track, Mr. Ed, is killer on that album. I just love what Wolfgang brings. I love the fact that he took Van Halen's original name of Mammoth and made it his own. I guess he asked his dad if he could do that, so it's Mammoth WVH, Wolfgang Van Halen. They're about to go on a tour with another young band I really like called Dirty Honey. Maybe I'll try and catch a show on that tour. I really like both those bands a lot. I have not gotten to hear all of Dirty Honey's new album, but I really like what I've heard. But man, I was listening to that Mammoth WVH album a lot when it came out, so definitely check that out. Great job, Wolfie. Awesome job, man. Number 5, a great 80s rock band has always been LA Guns. And when singer Phil Lewis and guitarist Tracy Guns got back together recently, man, they have made 3 great albums in a row. It's like, wow, you guys are they're back, and they're just bringing it with these songs and these albums. And the newest album, Checkered Past, I love that album. Kicks off with Cannonball. There's a great slower song on there called Get Along, which I was like surprised at how much I liked it. It's a little longer, but it's got a really nice acoustic riff. Of course, there's these blazing rockers. Phil Lewis can still sing great. I'd love to see LA Guns, just to hear them do this new stuff, plus all that old stuff like Ballad of Jane and Sex Action and all that stuff. Great music. Love LA Guns. I think they're just still bringing it. When those two guys got back together, it's like, okay, here we go. And I remember seeing the ad for the Missing Piece, the first album they did when they got back together, and I was like, is this going to be any good? And man, it is. So number 4 is a band called the Dead Daisies. I told some of my friends, I love the new Dead Daisies. They're like, what the heck is that? The Dead Daisies is a supergroup created by a guitar player named Dave Lowy. I think Dave is British. He puts together these musicians and makes, including himself, makes kind of a supergroup. He just had singer John Corabi in there for a while. Marco Mendoza was in there, and now I think Marco and John left, and now we have Doug Aldrich on guitar. I love Doug Aldrich. He played with Dio and Whitesnake. Dean Castronovo, stellar vocalist and drummer. He was in Journey. I think he's back in Journey now. And Dave Lowy himself is in there. But on vocals and bass, you have the great Glenn Hughes. I mean, Glenn Hughes can still sing his ass off. He can. He's like 60-something. And Glenn Hughes can sing phenomenal. He still sounds probably like he did back when he did Burn with Deep Purple. I don't know how he does it, but Glenn Hughes is tremendous. I love Glenn Hughes, and this is the Dead Daisies album that I think is maybe the best out of all of them, even though I have liked the past couple they've done really well. Uh, the song Baseline, God, come on. What a great song. Holy Ground, which is the name of the album, Holy Ground. Great song. There's just some great songs on this album that the whole thing, I'm like, wow, every track is good or great. And Glenn Hughes brought this band and made them like a harder rock band, and they're just driving right along. And man, I love what Glenn Hughes does. I don't think I really knew who Glenn Hughes was, honestly, until Black Country Communion, but I am younger. So I kind of got into rock music in 2008, 2007, like hard rock music. And Glenn Hughes, I mean, listen to Burn, listen to those Deep Purple albums with him. He's done a couple albums with Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. Listen to Seventh Star. Listen to the Iommi Hughes album called Fused. That's awesome. There's some great songs. And absolutely listen to Dead Daisies, Holy Ground. I'm telling you, right up there. These next three for me, wouldn't stop listening to them for a while. Love them. Number 3, this one. Mr. Todd La Torre, the current lead singer of Queensryche. Even got an autograph thanks to Rat Pack Records. Love this album. Rejoice in the Suffering. Man, can Todd sing. Todd is one of my favorite singers around right now. I got to see him with Queensryche in 2019, early 2019 near Cleveland. He sang his ass off that night. He was like in your face. They had his mix so high. Awesome, awesome. Todd is a killer singer. I'm so glad he's in Queensryche. What he brings to that band, he brings them back to where they should have been. And I love Jeff Tate. I think Jeff Tate is one of the best singers to come out of the 80s, but I think the Queensryche albums, the last few with Jeff, were bad. They were pretty terrible. And with Todd, the 3 he's done with them so far, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The riffs are back, the vocals are back, the melodies are back. That's what's important. The riffs, the melodies, the choruses. Todd is stellar, and on this album, he really explores his vocals. Really just, he has such a range. He just really shows you where his voice can go. I mean, if you listen to Vanguards of the Dawn Wall, that's like almost screamo, like guttural, like that, kind of like deep down, like a screamo kind of thing, like a Testament or something like that, like a guttural kind of voice. But then you have him, like the song Hellbound and Down, he's way back up here, Vexed, crazy high stuff. Oh, the end of Apology is beautiful. There's 3 bonus tracks. My favorite is Set It Off, Todd, that should have been on the album in the runtime. Crossroads to Insanity. Awesome song. Love that song. Critical Cynic, Dark and Majesty. Love how that starts out with this like staccato riff and then it kind of eases into this like beautiful vocal melody. Huge Todd La Torre fan. Todd liked one of my tweets recently, so Todd, if you watch this, I'll tag you again. Thank you for all you do for Queensryche and I loved your solo album. Would love to talk to you or interview you one day. I think you're awesome. Huge fan of yours. What you and your guitarist friend Craig Blackwell, who absolutely should be mentioned here, did on this album. Todd plays drums. He's a great drummer. But one of the best albums of the year. Very seldom do I take this out of rotation. Number 2. It's gotta be up there. Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. Iron Maiden, one of the best bands of all time. Love Iron Maiden. Love, love, love Iron Maiden. I love them. I like the Book of Souls. I love Senjutsu. Bruce Dickinson said, I think this album is better than Book of Souls. Usually when artists say that, I'm like, oh, okay. No, this album is better. Stratego. Stratego? I think Stratego. The title track, Senjutsu. The Time Machine. Hell on Earth. The last 3 tracks, solely written by bassist, founding member, a man who influenced me to play bass, Steve Harris, and they're all over 10 minutes. Who cares? They're great. My favorite, probably Hell on Earth. I love that song. Parchment's great too. Other songs on here, Days of Future Past, Lost in a Lost World, Darkest Hour, Iron Maiden, thank you for keep chugging out great music and doing it the way you want to. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like the long songs. I like long songs. So I guess I'm a fan of what they're doing now. Bruce's vocals, stellar. Bruce is one of the best singers ever. The playing on here, great. Adrian, Dave, and Yannick, great guitar players. And Nico, some of Nico McBrain's best drumming ever. Guy's been in the band since, 83 with Peace of Mind, which is one of the best albums ever too. But I love Senjutsu. This is like a top 10, probably a top 10 Iron Maiden album of all time for me. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you haven't heard Senjutsu yet and you're a Maiden fan, you really need to pick this up. So, and finally, on my list, one of my favorite bands of all time. Loved them the first time I ever heard them on the Aussie's Boneyard station when I had a free trial of Sirius XM, and Pull Me Under came on, and I was like, who is this? It's Dream Theater with A View from the Top of the World. Their newest album is my album of the year. I'm a huge Dream Theater fan. Though in saying that, I would not have put their last two albums as my album of the year. Certainly not The Astonishing, which would not have even made my top 10. Distance Over Time would have, but it would not have been my top album that year. I love A View from the Top of the World. It's what these guys do best. There's a lot of proggy stuff on here. There's a lot of just metal stuff. There's just kind of something for everybody on this. If you're a Dream Theater fan, Transcending Time, I guess, is like one of their first songs they've ever done in a major key. It's very uplifting, awesome chorus. The title track, A View from the Top of the World, is 20 minutes, but it's one of the best 20-minute songs they've ever done. I love Sleeping Giant. Answering the Call has been in my rotation for a while now. The Petrucci Rudis interplay, the guitar keyboard interplay in that song is awesome. The rhythm section, I'm so glad they had John Mayung, who's, speaking of influential bass players on me, John Mayung, brilliant from Dream Theater. He's finally up a lot more in the mix, which he should be. Mike Mangini on the drums. He's really been coming into his own as the new drummer in the band, which has been probably 10 years now. And I think this is one of his best albums he's done. And James LaBrie's vocals, I think, are great on this. He doesn't quite go for all the really high stuff anymore, but that's okay. I like where his voice sits now. I think he sounds really, really good on here. The Alien, the first single that they released, is 9.5 minutes. That song just like punches you in the face from the beginning, and it's a great song. They got a Grammy nomination for it recently, which I was super happy for them. I just think that this album does everything right. All the songs are great. Awaken the Master, really dark, heavy. Invisible Monster, another single. Mid-tempo song. Mangini wanted to do mid-tempo. They came up with... John Petrucci is my favorite guitar player. I'll just say that right now. His guitar riffs are amazing. He's phenomenal. I got to meet these guys on the Astonishing tour. I did the whole meet and greet thing about 5 years ago probably now. Love meeting them, all super nice. Was really nervous meeting Petrucci, but he was really cool. So, if you're a Dream Theater fan, you have not checked out A View from the Top of the World, I don't know what you're doing. You need to get on that. So, yeah, Dream Theater's new album, my album of the year. I love it. Okay, that's my top 10 rock albums of 2021. Leave a comment. Absolutely, leave me a comment. Recommend some albums. Let me know your favorites in my list. Let me know, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the new Dream Theater? Let me know. Iron Maiden, Todd La Torre, Pretty Reckless, Lindsey Buckingham. Let me know. Okay, like, comment, subscribe to my page, Stumbo's Media Outlet, right back here, and ring that bell for notifications so you guys know when all my new videos are posting. So, thank you guys all so much for watching this countdown video, and I'll see you guys next time.